Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LeTip Live. LeTip is an organization of like-minded individuals brought together to help each other's businesses grow and flourish. And today we're going to meet one of our outstanding rock star members. We're going to learn more about him. So we have a special treat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Matt Peters. Matt, how are you?
Hello.
Oh, yeah,
Hello,
that's
everyone.
my joke. Brian hit me with so normally I say, hey, Matt, where are you? But Matt is virtual, so we have him here on the virtual live stream. So, Matt, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on here, Doug, and thank you for doing all you do to make this LeTip podcast an ongoing thing with LeTip International. I'm excited that I got my chance to be in the guest seat.
Absolutely. I mean, LeTip is a family that our whole goal is to help each other get our voices heard, get people to check us out and get eyeballs on it. So thanks for being part of the team, and thanks for joining us today and spending some time with us and helping our members and giving them tips and tricks. So we appreciate you coming and visiting us. So we want to remind everybody we are live. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, you can put it in the comments section, and me and Matt will answer those questions live with you today. So we highly encourage you putting questions in there. It makes my life easier because we get to answer your questions. So don't be shy. Don't be bashful. Please put a comment, a question, put something in the comment section, and we'll answer it live with you today. People are starting to roll in and tune in. We got the Fear Fright Experience saying woohoo. They're excited to join us today. Thank you for joining us on the show. And we hope to entertain you today. So, Matt, let's get to know you and what you're all about. So first and foremost, what do you do?
Okay, so since 2016, I've owned and operated Weedman Lawn Care of Bucks County, and then over the last few years, we've been growing and expanding that. So now we are Weedman Lawn Care and Mosquito Hero of Bucks and Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and I'm the owner and operator of that. And in addition to that, I like to give a lot of myself to the community, and the main kind of community involvement that I'll highlight, unless we get into other stuff later, is the years that I've spent on the board of LeTip of Lower Bucks County, both as the tip master for a couple of years and then 3 years as chapter president. And now I get to kick my feet up and relax and be immediate past president and be amongst the regular citizens, so to speak.
Nice. Oh yeah, we're definitely going to dive into that. Don't worry, we're going to get there. You're stealing my questions.
Okay.
Don't worry, we're going to get there. But so you're the top dog of Weedman in Bucks County. My next question would be, what made you get into the industry? What made you, do this?
Well, I've always had an interest in the green industry from when I was a young kid. I used to go to Longwood Gardens all the time with my parents, and it was like our place that we would go to. We didn't really go on many family vacations or long trips. Still have never been to Disney World. 32 years on this earth, and I've never been. Don't know if I will, but we'll see. That was like our place that we would go to. We would go and check out the conservatory, the flower gardens. It never really connected. But when I was 16, a friend of mine found just an entry-level canvassing job with a weed man in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Found the job. It was more than I was getting paid at the time at McDonald's. So I made the switch over to Team Weedman, and then, started my career at a ripe young age. And it was more the culture and the opportunities and what I gained out of it from like a personal and professional development thing that kept me involved in the business, and that kind of inherent interest just kept, it was a good fit, I would say. But I would say Longwood Gardens, definitely.
Awesome. Great stuff. Which brings me to my next question. It seems like you kind of touched base on how you like the community and the team at Weedman, but why did you choose to join Weedman? You could have joined a bunch of other, services. Why Weedman?
Well, I had for 8 years, I was an employee of another Weedman office in Westchester. I did, canvassing, I did sales, I was a lawn care technician, I was a sales manager, and then even made it up to a general manager. So it was always something where I was challenged. And then when I succeeded and hit a challenge, a lot of times rewards came from that, which was a great kind of system to get into for me as a younger entrepreneurial minded person. That's kind of what I would say kept me in. And then like as far as just other things like that have appealed to me throughout the years, like just geez, there's so much that has kept me involved and engaged with Weedman throughout the years because I've done just
Mhm.
so many things throughout. Um, I would say probably the biggest thing was once I became the sales manager in
Mhm.
mainline and I went to my first national conference. I had been a part of the sales comparison, the sales analysis program that Weedman does for its franchisees to help keep you on
Mhm.
path and give you a clear plan to success and to show you how to become successful and how to track your progress. But that was all just like talking to people on the phone or video conference, whatever. That was tangible where I got to go down and meet with other Weedman employees, managers, owners from all around the country and from far reaches where they're having the same, challenges and struggles. And we get to share and network in that sense of community, plus how much I could see that the Weedman franchise support team cares for and supports their franchisees. It made me a lot more comfortable to make that decision and to invest in a Weedman franchise of my own when the time came due, as opposed to going to a competitor or starting up, Matt's Lawn Care or whatever I would whatever
Mhm.
I would have called it.
Awesome. Great stuff. I do want to remind you guys that we are live. So please chime in at any time and ask a question to Matt. He's a rock star in LeTip and in his service with Weedman. So now let's get into like maybe not a sales pitch, but what makes Weedman special from the competition? Like what does
Um,
Weedman do different for the people who are getting the services?
Well, the biggest difference with Weedman versus a competitor is our proprietary use fertilizer. And if anyone watches Shark Tank, proprietary is just a big fancy word for exclusive or unique. So we have a
Mhm.
unique product at Weedman. It's our slow release granular fertilizer where it has a really high percentage of nutrients that are time released over an 8 to 10 week period of time. It's something crazy like 65+% of the nutrients are time released over a extended period of time. So that's going to feed the lawn in a different way, more sustainably, and it's going to lead to less runoff, a more even green color, and it's granular as opposed to liquid fertilizers, which some people will use in their DIY do-it-yourself programs, or
Mhm.
some companies will use because it's liquid is a cheaper product. But
Mhm.
Weedman, since as long as I've been with the company and before that, has always had that commitment to product quality. And that's why every single office is using slow release granular fertilizer. It will be blended differently to their area and what nutrients that area might need in the soil, but it's still that good quality fertilizer. That combined with our systems, our willingness to help other franchisees and be just a really good team and to help everyone succeed, kind of the rising tide raises all ships. And then
Mhm.
just the locally owned and operated aspect to all of that, where you still have someone who is a local business owner with skin in the game, who knows you and cares about you and appreciates and values your business.
Awesome. Great stuff. The questions are starting to come in. So Megan asks, what's the most overlooked thing you see on lawns?
Ooh, that's a good question. So most overlooked thing, I would say probably the most overlooked thing would probably be the height that people cut their grass at.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, because I sometimes get into conversations with customers or prospective customers about that. We recommend a specific height that you cut your grass at, and
Mhm.
if you cut your grass any shorter than that height, what will happen is you'll have more weeds, you'll have more crabgrass. Your grass won't have as strong of a rooting system, and it'll be more susceptible to pest infestations or like environmental impact, like drought or heat. But if you cut it at the height that we recommend or higher, or in that range that we prescribe, you're going to have a better looking lawn. And that's one of the things, like people just, it's not a focus, or they might have someone who cuts it for them. So they're just out of the process. But there is a specific height that you need to cut your grass at. And you could always get in contact with me and I will give you that answer as to what height that grass would be at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great stuff. And thank you, Meg, for the question. Feel free
Yeah,
to
good
ask
question.
more. Definitely put them in there. One of my questions are, you're the expert, right? And one of the reasons why we do this podcast is to provide expertise and knowledge to our members. So right now we're kind of heading into the winter. The holiday season is coming. It's kind of in the winter time right now. So is there anything that homeowners need to keep in mind going into the winter that maybe can help them or give them a leg up? So when the spring comes around and spring is sprung, that maybe there's things that they could do now that could help them in the future.
Oh, absolutely. If you're a homeowner and you have a lawn and you want to get a jump start on having a good lawn next spring, there's a few easy steps that you could follow. The first one being clear any debris off of your lawn, like sticks and leaves. Those, if
Hmm.
you leave them on your lawn for an extended period of time, are just going to suffocate your grass and give you
Hmm.
problems or potential dead spots come springtime. Not to mention, it can be other just, there could be other debris that can get on a lawn during the winter. Remove all that stuff before it gets too cold. That's one of the things. The other crucial thing is to put down a winterizer fertilizer to feed your lawn before it goes dormant. And the main reason why you want to put down a winterizer fertilizer, especially for anyone in a temperate or a northern climate, is when you get to this time of the year, the grass is sending, it's taking all the nutrients out of the soil. It's then using those nutrients to produce growth, but the growth isn't the grass growing up, it's the root system growing down and the plant storing more nutrients in its plant reserves for the off season. So if you put that winterizer fertilizer down, what will happen is the grass will be better fed, it'll have better root development going into the winter, it'll have more plant reserves of nutrients for the off season, and then when the springtime comes, you'll have a healthier, greener, thicker grass that will green up quicker than your neighbors will who don't put down a winterizer fertilizer. So I'd say those are the biggest two tips. So I have a few more, but I'd say those are the biggest, most important two.
Awesome. Great stuff. We're going to get to more of your tips, but first we got some more questions coming in. So we'll go with Megan asked the last one. We got another one. Let's go with Brian here. Brian asked, my father is big in his lawn and his garden and growing stuff. So what are some holiday gift ideas that you could give him maybe that to do with his property and his lawn? Anything that he
Okay.
can, any gift ideas you got for us this holiday season?
Yes, Brian, the number one gift for your dad is a Weed Man lawn care program for the upcoming season if he's in Bucks or Montgomery County. We could take care of his fertilization and weed control. And with the way that we build a partnership with our customer, for someone who's a big lawn guy, he'd love our service because we're not going to do things like we don't cut grass. We're not a landscaping company. We're not going to trim his bushes or put down his mulch. So he'll still be able to do that. But the specialized work that requires specific products or industry knowledge or just handling of sensitive equipment or materials can be handled by us. We can, be his superhero on the lawn, talk to him, give him helpful tips on his lawn, and maybe recommend some other things he can do to improve the appearance of his lawn or his property otherwise. Now, if you're looking for a specific gift to give him, I would say get him a mower gauge so he could check his mowing height, and get him maybe some other kind of knickknacks and tools he could use to maintain his lawn equipment if he has any.
Or maybe a couple months of Weed Man service.
I would opt for that one. Definitely that one. Yes.
Absolutely. But it sounds like you can basically make his green thumb look a little bit more greener. You're gonna kind of put his time and effort on steroids. He's all his neighbors are gonna see him doing these things, and they're gonna make his efforts look way better because he's gonna have the right nutrition and the right strategy. Sounds like
Yes.
that. Sounds like to me. Awesome. Great stuff. Meg asked, what started your interest in lawn care? I know we kind of touched base upon it, but we are live and people want to know. So what started your interest in lawn care?
Well, I touched on the Longwood Gardens aspect earlier and the benefit of green environments that they've had on me and just the benefit that I could see them having on others. Another thing that I would say that kept my interest in lawn care, besides the stuff I said about Weed Man earlier, is the ability for me to exhibit leadership within the company. And that's something that I feel as though I feel very comfortable in that role. And it's something that I feel as though I've had a very good track record with throughout my time with Weedman or LeTip or elsewhere. So it's also been a good way for me to kind of channel that part of myself and to be that person. And always playing games with Mother Nature and creating a well maintained, healthy green lawn that doesn't just occur naturally by accident in nature is always a cool thing. So the sense of accomplishment that comes with delivering a good looking lawn and seeing it after what it started with, that's always a huge thing, that keeps me interested every single day in lawn care.
Awesome. Great stuff. So I do want to remind you guys too that WeMan, I believe, is a nationwide company. And like just because you're not living in Lower Bucks County, you could be, in another area and there might be WeMan services there. So you definitely want to contact Matt because he could be a liaison. He's a rock star. for Weed Man. So you definitely hit him up because he can guide you in the right direction and link you up with the right service and the right people. Because if I have my facts right, you guys just won some awards too, right, for your office or something. You guys like won an award
We're
recently.
we won some awards. We're also nominated for some awards. So
Nice.
the award that we won was in 2022. Our office won the Best of Bucks County for the Bucks Happening for the lawn care and landscaping category.
Nice.
We've also been named finalists in 2023, 2021, 2019, and 2018 for that.
Nice.
For our office specifically within our franchise system, we're nominated for a customer loyalty award, and those are going to be given away at our national conference in December. So another couple weeks, and I'll know whether or not we won that. And that's based off of your things like your customer satisfaction rating and your customer retention rating. So I'm looking forward to that, and hope we're going to take home that trophy.
Awesome. Is there anything that LeTip Nation can help you get these awards? Like, is there any place we can vote for you? Can you call upon us to help you? Is there any way we can help?
I would say when the 2024 Bucks Happening contest comes out, and I'm looking for votes for my business for Weedman as the best lawn care service in all of Bucks County. Again, that would be the huge, probably the biggest way to help. Even this past year, our chapter, LeTip of Lower Bucks County, was also named as a finalist for our third year in a row in that same contest for best networking group or chamber. Myself, I
Awesome.
was named in a finalist as a best entrepreneur in the Bucks Happening magazine. So as long as I get nominations, or as long as we get nominations for those other categories, I'd definitely say, votes for those as well would be a huge help. And if people stay tuned to my social, either the Weedman at Weedman Bucks County on Instagram, at Mosquito Hero Bucks County on Instagram. Those are the main two pages. And then we also have at Weedman Montgomery on Instagram and at Mosquito Hero Montgomery on Instagram. Those are the main two and probably the easiest ones for me to shout out on here. We're also on
Absolutely.
Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. So that was my next question. So obviously, if you're our liaison, we need to contact you. Would the easiest way to get a hold of you would be your Instagram at Weedman Bucks County? That would probably be the easiest one for everyone to get a hold of you.
Yes. Yeah, that would be the easiest way. Number one, easiest way, give us a follow on there, shoot us a DM. Our DMs are always open if you're a customer, if you were looking to become a customer, or if you're looking to get connected with a weed man in your area, whether you're in Bucks County, Montgomery County, or anywhere throughout the US or Canada, there may be a weed man near you that can help your lawn and help care for your lawn and give your neighbors some real lawn envy. So yeah, contact me there.
Perfect. Great stuff. Moving on. The questions are rolling in, which is great because we want you guys to participate. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So no matter where you're watching, you can participate with us today. And we have Jen Rose. She's tuning in. She says, I might have missed this conversation, but is it really worth to thatch your lawn in the fall? You didn't miss this conversation because I don't even know what thatch means. So can you help us out, Matt? Is it worth it to thatch your lawn in the fall?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And as far as thatching the lawn goes, the one just caveat I'll give is the advice I'm about to give you, Jen, would be if you're in a temperate or a northern climate as opposed to a southern climate, different grass types, long story. But let's say you live in a northern climate like Bucks County or Montgomery County. Then what you would need to do is just aerate your lawn. You wouldn't need to thatch it. If you just do a core aeration, that will be sufficient. Reason why I don't recommend that people dethatch their lawn is because it's kind of a real violent, destructive process that could end up ripping up some of the good grass that you have in your lawn that just at that time doesn't have a strong root system. So if you regularly core aerate your lawn, let's say every single fall time, or if you really want to have a great lawn, do it every spring and every fall. That will manage your thatch layer and you'll never need to dethatch your lawn ever again.
Awesome. Great stuff. Really appreciate your expertise, Matt. You're kicking butt right now. You're a rock star. So we got
Thanks.
another question from Connor. Connor asks, we're expecting a snowy winter this year. Do you prepare lawns differently when you expect more precipitation?
When we're expecting more precipitation, well, That's a very general question because precipitation has a big impact on our industry and on our business. Like for example, certain times of the year we do liquid applications of weed control, or we'll do liquid applications of mosquito control or flea and tick control. If we see precipitation in the forecast, we won't schedule work on those days, or we'll be on top of it so that way we're not performing applications when the weather's kind of iffy.
Hmm.
That's the biggest way that it affects us on a day-to-day basis. Now, when we get to the wintertime, the main way that snow impacts us is coming out of the winter, and how we need to plan for that. So let's say we get a lot of snow this winter, then an issue that could face us is something called snow mold. And there's two different types of snow mold. There's pink snow mold, and then there's also gray snow mold, which are
Hmm.
funguses that could grow on your lawn. They're lawn diseases that can grow if certain conditions exist and if a certain plant type is there that can become infected by that pathogen. But if you do certain things to kind of deal with it curatively, then you could minimize its impact and it won't have any major damage on your lawn. But other than that, I would say, going into the winter, we don't have to do too much besides just advise our customers on what we need them to do for cutting and mowing, or mowing and watering recommendations, and then just kind of do our thing as far as getting our winterizer fertilizer put down, maybe limestone if we need to put down limestone as well.
Awesome. So there's pink molds, pink snow mold, and what was the other one?
Oh, yeah,
Brown,
pink snow mold and gray snow mold.
and gray snow mold. Any yellow snow mold?
Uh, there is, but
No
it's
yellow
not
snow
snow
mold.
mold, and I would not suggest or recommend eating it either.
All right, all right. Good to know. Good lesson learned. Don't eat the yellow snow. Good stuff. So like I said, we are live, so please keep the questions coming in. We appreciate them. Matt, any more? Keep it coming with the tips. Any more tips, tricks, any more expertise you could share with our members here?
Yes. And the number one tip or trick I would say would be consistency. But that's kind of like everything in life.
Mhm.
When we get calls from prospective customers, one of the most difficult kind of questions to break someone out of, or mindsets to break someone out of, is someone who thinks that only one or two applications in a year is sufficient to have a really good looking lawn. I would say just like anything else in life, whether it be health and fitness, wellness, being a good business owner, learning and mastering any sort of hobby or musical instrument, sports, whatever you want to call it, being a great driver, whatever. It takes practice, and it takes, repeated activities. It takes habitual behaviors over a period of time. So when you're caring for your lawn, you can't just put down one application in the spring of weed control or crabgrass pre-emergent. It's not the Ron Popeil set it and forget it model. You need to continuously put in inputs into the soil of fertilizer, weed control, limestone in some cases, aerator tines, grass seed, water, to make sure that the lawn is getting everything it needs to stay healthy. It's just like us. We're complex creatures. So's a lawn.
Nice, great stuff.
Mhm.
Another question coming in. The holiday season is upon us. So, are there any holiday discounts for Bucks County or Montgomery County? Any specials that I know Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's all over. But are there any holiday gift ideas or specials that you have coming up?
Yes, actually, we're doing one for the Mosquito Hero side of things. We're doing a free mosquito control application when you book a mosquito program for 2024. That deal
Mhm.
is valid until the end of this year, until December 31st. And
Awesome.
then for both Weedman and Mosquito Hero, for individuals who would like to prepay for our service and pay ahead for their year, they'll get a prepay discount and they'll save big on their 2024 order.
Awesome. Great stuff. Good stuff. Keep the comments coming in, ladies and gentlemen. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We'll definitely answer those as those come in. But let's kind of before we move on, any other tips, tricks, or things you want to share expertise wise with our members?
Oh, yes. Oh, one other thing would be when you're planting grass seed. I was just thinking of this. When you're planting grass seed, if you do decide to plant grass seed, consult with an expert first before you just go out and purchase grass seed. There's a lot of reasons why, but one of the main reasons why is when you go out and buy do-it-yourself grass seed products. There's a couple of major brands out there. Scotts and Pennington are the major two that you could find at your average, garden or home center. Most of those grass seeds over the past few years, I've noticed them developing a seed coating on that. And that seed coating that they have on there usually accounts for about 40 to 60% of the weight by volume of the bag. So if you're buying a 20-pound bag of grass seed, and it has that seed coating on there, you're only getting about 10 pounds. So there's a lot of that like funky stuff going on that you just want to make sure that you have an expert who knows what to look for, knows where to look, and knows what you need and at what amounts. Just like anything else, that's a great one. Yeah, good thing you asked.
Awesome. Awesome. Great stuff. So do me a favor. I know we're live, but we're going to do a little acting here. Do me a favor and say, this is the one thing you want to do before putting down, what is it? Lawn seed?
Oh yeah, this is the
Yeah.
what.
Say that because I'm gonna make it a social media clip. So do
Oh,
that
okay.
for me.
Okay. So just need to go. This is the one thing you need to know before putting down grass seed on your lawn.
Perfect. You're a natural. One
All
and
right.
done. One take. Perfect. So we'll pull that out because that's great information. We'll put that out. We're going to put that on social media. So that's great. Keep the
Awesome. Yeah.
questions coming. But before we shift gears, I want to make sure we get all the juicy tips from you. Any more weed man tips you got for us?
Tips. I
No
would
pressure.
say.
Before we move on, I want to make sure we got all the good stuff.
Well, I would say one of the tips is as it gets warmer and as we have warmer temperatures later on into the season, also keep that in mind when you're making a selection on what type of grass to plant. There's sun type grasses that do really well in sun conditions and have a high drought
Mhm.
and heat tolerance. Then there's also
Mhm.
shade type grasses that don't do well in full sun lawns and will definitely not do well when they get the added stress of heat, drought, and humidity on top of them. So once again, like always consult with an expert when you're trying to select a product to put onto or into your lawn.
Awesome. I just learned something just now. So there's different breeds and different species of grass.
Absolutely. There's
Wow.
a bunch of different types of grass, and then within that, there's I'll name a few of them. There's Kentucky bluegrass, there's perennial ryegrass, there's tall fescue, and then there's several different types of fine fescue grasses. Those are just a few, and those would be some of the most common that we recommend in this area. And even
Mhm.
within that, there's different cultivars of each type, and there's some that are selectively bred for certain drought or insect tolerance. It's a fascinating thing if you like getting into all that stuff.
Well, it's great stuff. It's awesome. Well, I didn't know. I didn't. I thought there was all one species.
Mhm.
But it's good to know. I mean, I guess it's kind of like trees. Like there's like the Douglas fir and like the timber or whatever. So that's awesome to understand. So like, would you suggest? Let's just say your front lawn is doesn't have many trees and is constantly hit by the sun, that you might put a certain type of grass there, but your backyard has lots of trees and lots of shade. You might put a different species of grass in that area, right?
Exactly. Yes. And
Awesome.
what often happens, what I see is like if people do it themselves and they don't think it through, they'll go out and they'll buy a bag of sun and shade grass. And then what happens is then they get a very small amount of sun grass that grows in the sunny area. The shade grass doesn't work. And then
Yeah.
in the shady area, they get some of the amount of the shade grass that grows there, and then none of the sun stuff takes. But if you do it the right way, you could get a lot more bang for your buck, and that's really important now that everything costs more by the day. Seems to get more bang for your buck and to get more value and to just put the right stuff down at the right amounts.
Awesome. Great stuff. I love you learn something new every day. Questions are rolling in. We have what is aeration? Oh, you were talking about aeration before. I guess that's a great question. What exactly is aeration?
So aeration is a process where we do mechanical core aeration. So aeration is the process of introducing air to something. So you may have heard of wine being aerated before, but when a
Hmm.
lawn's aerated, little cores of soil are physically removed out of the lawn, and then by doing that, that allows air, water, and nutrients to penetrate down into the soil a lot easier. That gets everything down into the root system. And then also by doing that, that will give the roots chance to branch, the grass roots a chance to branch both out and down to give the grass a more healthy base in the soil. And then the one woman earlier who asked the question about thatch, when you aerate the lawn, it also rips up a little bit of the thatch layer. And then by doing that, that manages your thatch layer, which I don't know if we covered earlier. Thatch is a layer of living in dead, decomposed and undecomposed plant material that sits on the top level of your soil. So you need to maintain an adequate amount of that, not too much, not too little.
Awesome. Great stuff. And the next question coming in is, do you recommend grub control?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you live in a residential lawn, if you live in, Levittown, for example, if you're a Bucks County resident, you're watching this, you live in Levittown, or if you could picture Levittown where you have, quarter acre lots and there's just a bunch of houses in that neighborhood or on that street, you should absolutely get grub control every single year, preventative grub control without exception. Reason why is the grubs, which can damage and eat a lawn and destroy a lawn in a matter of weeks, are the larvae of Japanese beetles. And those beetles are transient. So if you have things like tomato plants or rose bushes or other plants that attract them onto your property, those beetles will continue to come back, and those beetles will lay eggs, and those eggs will turn into grubs, and those grubs will eat and destroy your lawn. And you don't even need to have those plants to attract those insects on there. Your neighbors could have them. Your neighbor right next door could have a bunch of them, and you could get a grub problem. It's really crazy, unpredictable stuff that could happen in that. So yes, I would always recommend grub control every year, preventative.
Awesome, awesome. So this is a personal question. I know this is what we're dealing. We're in northern New Jersey here at the studio. So around here, there's been a heavy spotted lanternfly infestation, and so much so that the mayor, the governor, is putting out like wanted dead or alive. Like you see these lanternflies, they want you to kill them because they kill trees and they kill crops. So we have a lanternfly problem here in New Jersey. Do you guys have the same issue? And if so, like anything that we should be doing or anything on the lanternfly epidemic?
Oh, they're a problem everywhere. Like in Pennsylvania a year or two ago, I think they started introducing quarantine zones for the spotted lanternflies, but then it just got out of hand, and any quarantine zone that any sort of like regulatory agency tried to set up just failed, and it got out and they spread everywhere. So
Mhm.
they are everywhere. We don't offer any treatments for them at our office locally, but there are companies out there that do offer treatments. The one thing I would just say with that is, because spotted lantern flies are a little bit newer, and because of the way that like rules and regulations work in the pest control industry, think of it kind of like a prescription drug where something, before it's used or advertised, it needs to be tested to be able to control the specific pest in question. It needs to
Mhm.
have minimal like damage for other insects or other non-target pests as well. So like
Mhm.
when stuff like that comes up, like a spotted lantern fly or any sort of other kind of like novel problem, it's best not to just, throw everything in the kitchen sink at it immediately, because you could end up damaging or hurting other non-target insects with that. But
Mhm.
with that in mind, there are some sound control strategies for those, using products that have been tested and labeled and approved. It's just not
Yeah,
something that we do, or not a treatment that we provide.
absolutely. Or you could use your foot. I mean, the foot's a good
Yes.
strategy.
Yeah, they can jump though. They have a couple good jumps in them before
Oh
you could
yeah, they
splat 'em.
definitely evolved. They definitely
Yeah.
evolved. So like 2 years ago, these things would not they're jumping the way they are now. Like they would look at you and you kind of felt bad when you stepped on them. You're like, oh man, sorry, dude, and like whatever. Now they have evolved. Like they see you, like they see that foot, and they're flying, they're jumping. So they definitely evolved, for sure. All right, so we got another question. What type of lawns can benefit from the most from the Mosquito Hero program?
Ooh, that's a great question. So, what kind of lawns can benefit the most from the Mosquito Hero program? Well, I would say a lawn that would benefit from a Mosquito Hero program would be one that has a lot of issues with moisture, or one that is near a river or a lake or a stream, or maybe
Mhm.
one that is in or near a low lying area of their neighborhood. Because mosquitoes love water, it's where they live and breed. So
Mhm.
if you have like a swamp behind your house, or you have a little creek that's not too far away, your lawn might be the hotbed for mosquitoes. And that's where a Mosquito Hero program would come in and give you, a lawn that you could go out and enjoy, guaranteed, with free reapplications as many times as you need to make sure that mosquitoes are not bugging you when you're on your lawn.
Awesome. Yeah. Great stuff. Please feel free to put more questions in the comments section. We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Before we move on, Matt, any other tips or tricks weed man related that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I would say one other thing I mentioned earlier about aeration. I mentioned earlier about winterizer fertilizer. Another thing that we're
Mhm.
doing this time of the year, sometimes in conjunction with our aeration, is limestone. So, what limestone is, you could hear it referred to as a soil amendment sometimes, but it's mainly just a pelletized or sometimes pulverized just chunk of actual limestone. So it usually contains things like calcium and magnesium, which are elements that are present in the soil but are just not at the right amount. So you put that down to supplement the amounts of it. And by doing that, what the limestone will do is help to balance out your soil pH. And over time, your soil can get acidic, meaning the soil pH will go below 7. And anything below 7 is not that great as far as nutrient absorption goes with the grass. And it doesn't just automatically become neutral. It will never just automatically become basic. It needs soil inputs for that. So by putting calcium or magnesium or both calcium and magnesium down into your lawn in the form of limestone, that will help to improve your soil pH. That will increase the effectiveness of your fertilizer. It will help to decrease moss and other issues that you might have with certain weeds growing in your lawn. It's probably the smartest thing you could do in conjunction with a winterizer fertilizer to set yourself up for a great spring next year.
Awesome. Great stuff. Great stuff. We're going to leave the comment section open. If you guys have more questions, please feel free to put them in. We're going to move on to LeTip soon, but any more tips you want to share with us? I want to make sure you get all the tips out. We want to share all the expertise.
One other thing, it might not be relevant right now because we're just about to go into the winter, but when you get to the next summer, or if you happen to be watching this in the summertime, mow your lawn higher during the summer. Just please do it. Just raise your lawn mowing height in the summer. Just do it. It'll help. Mow it high and it won't die. But yeah, let's move on to the tip stuff.
Good stuff. No, I mean, you can't leave us on a cliffhanger like that. So what are the benefits of having a higher lawn, a higher height on your lawn?
So have you ever heard the saying "as above, so below"?
No.
Okay, well,
As above, so below.
Yeah, as above, so below. It's a saying, and you could see it reflected in some ways in nature. So ways that you could see it reflected in nature would be like, on average, a tree roots will grow out about as much as the tree branches will, more or less. Same thing happens with grass. So grass roots will grow down into the soil about as much as you allow the grass plant to grow up above the soil. So when you cut your grass a little bit higher, you're training your grass roots to grow down deeper and shading the soil as well, which will lead to less summer stress and less crabgrass and less weeds and a better looking lawn.
Awesome. Well, I mean, I'm just making an assumption here. So, I'm a sports-minded person. So, running around outside on the grass and stuff. And, sometimes you go to a neighbor's yard and you're playing outside in the backyard, and you kind of like me, you're like running around and like you kind of like, make dirt, like you like kick the grass off a little bit because it doesn't seem like the roots are in there. So if the grass is a little taller and the roots are a little deeper, you won't have like the grass won't slide off the dirt as easily. I'm assuming, right?
It's less likely to happen. It's not gonna, nothing's perfect, and we're still talking about a living, breathing plant here. But at the same time, that is correct. If you have a deeper root system, that's going to be more grounded. And grass rooting into soil, that's like a really old school way that they would stop erosion. They used to just people used to just plant a lot of grass on the side of like roadways or hills to keep the soil in place, because that just mechanism of the grass rooting into the soil holds the soil into place, which is one of the reasons why. And it's part of the training that we give out to all of our employees, where it talks about the benefits of turf grass, the environmental benefits of turf grass, and erosion prevention is one of the hugest ones.
Awesome. Great stuff. So obviously, any more expertise questions are definitely welcome in the comment section. We'll answer them live with you today. But if you have any more questions, Weedman related, go to @Weedman Bucks County on Instagram. I'm sure Matt will be happy to answer all your questions. And if you're not in his area, he will connect you to exactly who you need to talk to, so you can make sure your lawn is looking good. So thank you, Matt, for all the tips and tricks and your expertise. That's why we do this, is to bring Rockstar members like yourself quality information to all of our members across the nation. So thank you for that. Let's move on now to how we even got to know you and how we're all here today. Is LeTip, right? So the first question we got, my TV is my stuff is slowing down, but it looks like we're still live, so we're good. So the first question I got for you, Matt, LeTip related, is first, how did you find LeTip?
Oh, Good story. Great story with that. Years ago, what was this? 2016. I joined the Newtown Business Association in my first year in business, and
Hmm.
it's like a local business association around Newtown, Pennsylvania, here in Bucks County. They do like business
Hmm.
card exchanges, couple community events every year, stuff like that. There was a realtor in that group, Maggie Coe, who works with and still is with Remax Properties here in Newtown.
Hmm.
Got to talking to her because realtors, specifically residential realtors, are a natural referral partner and someone who I want to connect with and network with in that kind of setting. Got to talking to her. She told me about the group, and it happened to fit with a time where my business was growing and I was able to delegate certain responsibilities that in the first year and a half of owning and operating my business just was stuff I had to do. But now that we were growing and seeing success with that, and I'd hired a lawn care technician, I could start to expand and focus more on growing the business and working on it. So networking was one of those crucial things. I had went to a whole bunch of different groups all throughout, the Lower Bucks County area, and LeTip of Lower Bucks was the one for me. It just felt right. The number of members in the group was substantial and still is, and the members in it just really connected with me when I checked it out as a guest and signed up and joined in, I want to say June of 2017, might have been May or June of 2017.
Awesome. Great stuff. And then the rest is history. So
Yes.
Matt is a Rockstar LeTip member, and we appreciate him. We always he's always helped spreading the word. He's always engaging with our social media. So he's always preaching. So one of the questions that I always ask everybody who comes on the show is what LeTip means to them. So Matt, what does LeTip mean to you?
Ooh, I've seen you ask a lot of people these questions on here, and I've tried to think of the right way to answer that. The best way to answer that, I would say, would be family. Latip means family to me in a way. When I moved out to Bucks County, I moved away from my family. I still see them, not as much as I'd like to, but within the group, I was able to find people who, in a very kind of different and new way, were like a brand new family for me. Aunts, uncles, parents, cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever you want to say, sons, daughters, nephews. They all exist, and they can all exist because those people are, people who are meeting with you on a consistent basis with similar goals in mind. They're driven individuals who have the same goal and purpose in mind. And, when you have that, you are able to, you're able to be yourself like you only are around family. You're able to get support from people like you would only from a family member. You're able
Mhm.
to get assistance from someone like you could expect from a family member. And then also they're there to cheer you on and to congratulate you when you hit those successes, and to, celebrate everything from your birthday to a new success that you've had in your business. And that's something that I feel we do really well in our group. And that's one of the reasons why I've still been a member all these years, is because, it's just been a great, experience to be a part of it, and to be a part of that family, and then also part of expanding and growing that family and taking new members in and making them feel welcomed. It's like it's a great circle.
Awesome, great stuff. So you're definitely a man who's worn many hats and have helped your chapter grow. So why don't you just give us a little rundown, and a little tell us a little bit more about your time in LeTip? What has that
Sure.
been like?
Yeah, so I joined in 2017. Like I said, around like May or June of 2017, I want to say it was.
Mhm.
I spent the rest of that year and then the early part of 2018 getting to know the group, getting to know the members, and getting to know, the different, codes of conduct or things that I needed to be mindful of, when in the chapter. Then I spent time on building relationships, and building a relationship with my power partner in the group, who at the time was a tree service or and landscaper. Then in 2018, I had the opportunity to volunteer for the board of directors as their tip master. So I figured, I had the time. I felt as though I could take on the responsibility, and felt confident I could do it well, and I could learn everything that I needed to learn, and went for it. And then from 2018. 2019 into March of 2020, I was the chapter's tip master, and that is a board position that helps encourage members to find business for others. Tips are us finding a qualified lead or a qualified referral for another member. So the tip master helps teach members how to do that, and how to be a better tipper, how to be a proper tippee, and how to record everything properly. So that way we can make sure that we're tracking our progress and motivating our members to do better, and utilizing the systems that we have in place. So did that for a couple years. Then the pandemic happened, which caught us all by surprise. In March of 2020, we had to switch to only meeting on Zoom at that point instead of meeting at Twining Hall in Trevose, which is a lovely, huge meeting hall. But we have over 50 people, and some of them are older, and some of them had issues with immunosuppressed or immunocompromised family members, or they themselves were. So we made a decision to do it only on virtual, and we stayed with that for a couple years. And since I was the only one who knew how to confidently run Zoom at that point and wanted to do it, I got to run the meetings, and then kind of, that led to me being the president of the chapter for 3 years, and I loved it. It was 2 years on Zoom, 1 year in person, and it was just a lot of fun, and it was one of the most fun experiences I would say I've done in my entire life in a volunteer capacity.
Awesome. Great stuff. So as someone with a lot of experience and how to run the show, are there any tips or tricks that you could share with all your experience to maybe a newer member or someone who just joined LeTip? What can you help? How can you help that member?
Yes, someone who just joined LeTip, I would say, would be number one, listen to anyone who's been in the group for a while, because they know what they're talking about and they can help you. Don't be shy to ask questions of other more experienced members. Don't feel as though you're putting your pride aside to ask for help of another member on how to do something, or reach out to the support system within LeTip International. And that's also been a huge help for me to reach out to people who I need help from to try and figure out how to do something, how to figure something out, or how to manage or create a specific relationship, or whatever it might be. That's the biggest thing. Ask questions, really dive into it. You got skin in the game, so do it. Show up every single week. Put on your best game face, and just try to do everything that you can. And once you start doing that stuff and you do it consistently, you'll notice success. As long as you're doing all the stuff you need to do, you will notice success. And then when you notice it, don't get overconfident. Keep on with it, like you're still hungry for that success, and keep doing it, and it will come. And then just keep on having fun with LeTip, and encourage others to do the same. That's the other thing. Once you realize you could do that, lead by example, and live that in the group, and then other people will notice it and they'll follow it, and then you'll be an inspiration for people in your group, and then before you know it, you'll be changing the world.
Awesome. Great stuff. So that was some tips for the newer member. Any inspirational words for maybe a veteran member, or someone who's been in LeTip for a while? Maybe they just need some inspirational juice right now. Any juice for our members here?
Yeah. I'll give a shout out to a couple of old time members from our chapter. Ed McConnell of Total Benefit Solutions. He's been in the group, I want to say, since like 1998. And then Ken Harrison, the law office of Ken Harrison is his business. He's a family law attorney. He was one of the founding members of our group. So he's been in it since 1996. Those guys are like the LeTip LBC OGs, as we call them. Now those guys, they know the stuff inside and out. But one of the things that I think that is a success for them, or a secret to their success, is to stay involved. You don't always have to do everything, and you have spent a lot of time in the chapter, so you may think you might need to do each and everything. But sometimes you're just better spent in a supporting role, helping people and mentoring people. And those two guys, Ed and Ken Harrison, they're awesome mentors. And if you're a LeTip member who's been in it for a couple years, couple decades or more, that's something to be proud of, and you should definitely try to look to pass along that experience to any other members that you can. And I'm living proof that it does work, and you can break through to them and teach them, or have a good positive impact on them. And that will in turn strengthen your chapter. And it's one of those kind of karmic benefits where it's good to put that good out there. So yeah.
Awesome. Great stuff. Definitely, and I'm sure that the members you mentioned wouldn't have a problem if someone contacted them and asked a question. We're all here to help each other.
Yeah.
So definitely some nice words of inspiration, whether you're a newer member, whether you're a veteran member. Do want to remind you guys, we are live still on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you have a question, comment, or concern, you can drop it in the comments section and you can answer it live with Matt today. Before we move on, Matt, anything else you'd like to share about your experience with LeTip or encouraging words? Any LeTip related stuff that you'd like to share with our members?
I would just say I say it a lot during like testimonials and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever said it in a public kind of atmosphere like this. But it's just been an awesome thing for me and my business, and it's done a lot of great things, and it's opened a lot of doors for me, professionally and personally. It's allowed me to do so many things in my life, and allowed me to build my business to become a better networker, a better boss in some ways. It's allowed me to become a better citizen of the community that I'm in locally, and has provided me opportunities to give back and connected me to individuals who have helped me grow as a person a lot in a short amount of time. So, yeah, I would say, hmm, other just kind of words of wisdom or like other tip stuff, I would just say in general, just like I can't say enough for all the stuff I've gotten from the group so far.
Mhm.
I always wish I could give more back to it, but like I said, I've gotten so much from it, from new customers and advice and all that kind of stuff, to some of the members in my group take care of some of the crucial needs that I have on a regular basis, whether it be my insurance, personal and business insurance, or my benefits that I offer to my employees, health care, vision insurance, dental insurance. It's all handled through people that I've met through our chapter in LeTip. That's provided numerous benefits for me. When I volunteered for the Newtown Township Economic Development Committee a few years ago, one of the LeTip members helped me write a resume and a letter of intent, because I had never written a resume before in my entire life. I'd only worked the one job since I was 16, and just kind of clawed my way up over the years because I'm stubborn and persistent. But that's something that, like, I wouldn't have been able to do that if it weren't for LeTip. And there's just been so many other things, and I don't want to just laundry list all those things, but like the fact that my office is clean on a regular basis, I can thank Minch Professional Cleaning for that, and I could thank my LeTip chapter for that. It's awesome.
Great stuff. Great stuff. We are winding down. So this is the last time I'm going to ask you guys. If you want a question, comment, or concern, please put in the comment section. This is your last chance to do so. Matt, anything more? I know you could go on for days about LeTip, but before we move on to
Yeah.
our next subject, any more LeTip fun facts or anything you want to share?
I would say just other like cool LeTip fun facts is with our LeTip chapter, LeTip of Lower Bucks, we have an awesome social media presence that I've done a lot of work on over the past few years. We've had some help from other members in the past, but I've been the main person who's been the social media chair over the last few years. And I'd appreciate it if you could go on and connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram,
Mhm.
YouTube, or Alignable. Any of those platforms, we have a presence on, and I'm very proud of the presence that we have, especially on Instagram and on Facebook and on LinkedIn, for our LeTip chapter, LeTip of Lower Bucks County.
So we obviously want everyone to go check out all of them, but just for the sake of time, and I'm going to put one up. What's the Instagram? LeTip.lowerbucks.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's a great landing page, and everything is off there. We got a link tree on there, so you can find everything else off there. Yeah,
Nice.
LeTip
Cool.
Lower Bucks.
Yeah, so obviously this is why we do it, so we can get our LeTip Nation behind everybody and help everybody grow. So it would definitely be a huge help if you were able to help Matt and go to his LeTip chapter, like and follow their page, and also do the same for international. Like we have chapters across the nation, but it does take a village, and we all need to be liking, commenting, sharing, and engaging with all our pages, because it's going to help. It's going to help everybody. So definitely go to LeTip.lowerbucks, at LeTip International. You should be following your own chapter. You'll be surprised. I'm always trying to get my chapter to even follow their own chapter. You should definitely be following your own chapter. But yes, there's a reason for it, and it definitely helps. And word of mouth is a great tool. And we always talk about giving tips, and that's basically word of mouth, where social media is word of mouth on steroids. So if our LeTip Nation can understand that and buy in and help each other, comment on each other's posts and like each other's posts, it's word of mouth on steroids, and it's a very powerful tool. So don't take it lightly. So thank you for Matt for bringing that up. Anything else you want to mention about LeTip before we move on?
Um,
No
I would
pressure. I'm just
say,
making sure you got it all.
one of the things that we started recently on our social media page is a membership spotlight thing,
Nice.
where every it's something that we do every now and again. We don't have a specific regiment to it. It's whenever we can get one
Mhm.
recorded and edited and put up there. But we've done some short membership spotlights for members where we sit them down in front of the step and repeat banner after a LeTip meeting. We get the
Nice.
camera out and we ask them some general questions about their time in the group and who their power partners are, who they'd like to see in the group, and then we put it out on social media to give them an extra benefit of visibility, and then also give their business a little bit extra free marketing.
Nice. Love it. Great stuff. That's a great idea. Great idea. So other chapters should try to take that and put it on their repertoire. So
Definitely.
that's great stuff. Great stuff. Last chance, everybody live, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Last chance for the questions, comments, concerns. Put them in there. We'll ask Matt today live. So we're pretty much wrapping up LeTip. We went over the awards. There was something else I was going to ask you. Oh, do you have any events coming up? Anything you want to share? Like a gala event or anything that people should know about that's coming up?
Oh, yes. Coming up, there's going to be, well, this Sunday, if you're watching this live, this Sunday on December the 3rd,
Mhm.
we're going to be in the Newtown Business Association NBA Holiday Parade. So that'll be
Yeah.
in Newtown. It starts in the borough and then it ends in the township on State Street onto Sycamore Street. If you're from the Bucks County area, you probably know about this parade and hope to see you there. We'll be there, and I'll be on the Weed Man truck. Hopefully, it'll be clear weather, but it is a rain or shine event, so we'll be there regardless.
Awesome. Great stuff. B-Rock, reset my monitor, please. Great stuff. Awesome. Unless there's no more questions, comments, concerns on the Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube realm of things, do you, Matt, have any questions, comments, concerns for myself or anybody out there?
Um, I would say a question or comment I would say would be, if you're watching this right now, or even you, I'd say what's the number one thing that you want to accomplish in 2024 with your lawn? That would be it. Put that into the comment section, and then when I
I
go
like
back
that.
and view this video later, I could respond back to those comments. I could either shoot you a personal message, or we could have our conversation in the comment section there, whatever you prefer, and I can give you some advice on your lawn. If you have a
Awesome.
specific picture of your lawn that you'd like to share, and if this allows you to share a picture, like if you're watching this on Facebook, post a picture of your lawn in there and the specific problem that you're having, and I could diagnose it and give you some advice on what might be going on in your lawn. That's a great one. But
Nice.
yeah.
Well, I like that. Any questions you got from me or the
Oh,
Tip Nation?
um,
Anything you'd like to? I just want to make sure we have no stone unturned. Any questions, comments, concerns you got from me or anybody out there?
I would say, what kind of fun stuff is coming down the pike from LeTip International in the new year? That's something I'm
Oh,
excited to hear about.
we have a ton of. That's a great question. We didn't rehearse this, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great question. We actually have the LeTip, the first ever. I might not be the first ever, but we're starting a new trend with the LeTip convention in Las Vegas. I want to make sure Summer will kill me if I don't give you the right date. So let me just double check that. I believe it is April 24th. Let's pull this up. But we're having a huge LeTip convention, bringing everyone from across the nation to come together, network, learn from each other, give tips and tricks. The whole executive team from LeTip International is going to be there. Oh, yes. April 19th. Save the date. April 19th. The whole nation of LeTip, if you can make it, is going to Las Vegas. What you want to do if you're interested in this, you're either going to want to email International because I believe there might be discounted rooms or there might be benefits to playing this the right way with International rather than waiting for the last minute and might being left out in the cold. Because believe it or not, April 19th, 2024 is right around the corner. It might sound like it's far away. That's like what, 4 or 5 months away. We are coming up quick to April 19th, 2024. We're coming up quick to 2024. So if you are interested in going to the national convention in Las Vegas, I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Viva Las Vegas? You definitely want to start looking into that. That is April 19th. That is a great question, Matt. Any other questions, comments, concerns you got from me?
Um, I would say, what What is the what's the number one page we should connect with for LeTip International? Because I mean, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I do have
Yep.
our LeTip chapter does have more followers than you on
All
Instagram.
right, all
I
right, all
mentioned
right,
that
all right.
regularly at our
Nice,
meetings.
nice dig, nice dig. Want me to end the stream now?
No, no.
Nice dig. No, but that is a great point. All of our LeTip Nation should be following all of our pages. We have a LinkedIn page, we have a Instagram page, we have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube channel. That you could find. We're not hiding. You can find us anywhere. But that is a great point. Every member and every chapter should be following LeTip International. It's a great resource for not only taking the content we make and sharing it to help your chapter grow, but also, like I said before, it takes an army. So every member should be liking and commenting and sharing these things. It helps the algorithm. It helps get people out there. So a lot of the times, like I told you, my chapter, I'm in LeTip in Hackensack in New Jersey, and you know, we have members that don't even know how to use Instagram, so they're not even following our own chapter. So that's very important. But you should be following them all, and you guys should be sharing them all and commenting them all, along with the social media pages. Communicare is a big thing that people don't recognize that is even a thing. So Communicare is LeTip's basically magazine where we showcase members, we showcase chapters, we give inspirational stories, tips and tricks. It's a wealth of knowledge that some members don't even know exist, and it gets emailed to every member of LeTip. Matt, do you know about LeTip Communicare?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the
All right, good,
yeah
good, because you'll be surprised. There's many members that don't, and if you
magazine.
don't know about it, that means it's probably in your spam folder. So you should check your spam folder because every single member of LeTip has access to the LeTip Communicare, and it comes out once a month. It highlights members. It gives you tips and tricks. So along with the social media, which you should be following us all, I definitely know we have more members than followers. So, you know, that's on you guys. You guys should be following mothership here. So if you need any help, by the way, feel free to DM me, Doug Friedman. I'll put that in there for you. So you guys, that's a good point. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about social media, and need help, maybe you don't know how to follow the LeTip International Instagram page, you can feel free to DM me. You can email me, Doug@undefeatedmedia.com. Feel free to contact me. I will walk you step by step on how to do that. And I will also help all the social media managers or chairmen for the respective chapters. Like I said, it takes an army and we're all in it together. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns about anything marketing or social media and how to grow their chapter, how to follow LeTip International, please feel free to hit me up and I will answer you and I'll help you any way I can. Any other questions, comments, concerns you got from me, Matt?
I would say, how can I tell other people from my chapter about this or how can I direct them to you if they want to be a part of this?
Absolutely. So if they're looking to be on LeTip Live, please have them DM me, or you know, my information's on LeTip Wired, another resource many people don't, I feel like,
Yeah.
utilize. So definitely my information's on LeTip Wired. I just put up my Instagram. It doesn't matter to me how they contact me. Feel free to DM me. The one thing here's the one thing that we're looking to do more with LeTip Lives, which you did a great job today, is provide expertise. A lot of times, and like this is probably one of the reasons why you guys your social media pages are growing, is because you're probably providing expertise. Social media nowadays is not a sales pitch, right? We got to provide expertise, information, entertaining. No longer is social media like a television commercial. A television commercial, you have to sit there and watch it. So, you know, buying a Super Bowl commercial and being like, eat Doritos, people have to sit there and they, maybe I'll eat Doritos, right? But social media is completely different. People choose what they consume. So if you don't hook them within the first couple seconds, they're going to scroll to the next video, the next post. It's all about what they're interested in looking at. So people don't want to be sold. So providing value, information, entertainment, those are great ways to grow. And that's what we're looking for with these LeTip Lives, is to provide your expertise with the whole nation. So now we just helped everyone's lawns grow greener, thicker, and we just helped everyone's green thumbs get a little bit greener thanks to Matt. So maybe the next episode we have someone who's maybe a lawyer and how not to get sued, or an accountant and like how to make sure your taxes are in order. So we want to make sure we're bringing in rock star LeTip members with expertise that they could share that with the whole nation. And I'm constantly looking for more and more people to do that. So please send them my way, and we'd love to have them on. What else you got for me, Matt? Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I mean, I got comments. I could go on all day, but I'd say it's all for now. Unless you have any other questions for me, I got other stuff I could talk about. But yeah, I'll let you take us.
I
on
just
to the
want to make
next
sure
part.
we have every stone unturned. If there's anything, I have one more segment from you. It's a short one, but
Okay.
it's a surprise one, so it's a short one. But I want to make sure we have every stone unturned and we get all the juice from Matt. So is there anything else you want to share with us?
I thought of something really cool.
Yeah, please.
Probably one of the coolest tips that I ever got from our chapter was last year. The guy who's the painter in our group, it's Ray Hill Painting. He had invited me over to do a estimate on his lawn, on his father's lawn. I got to talking to his dad, and turns out both his dad and myself play the drums. And before long,
Nice.
like we get the lawn care contract signed up, and then I'm in his garage playing drums like to Elvis and like old like Judas Priest and Dokken songs and stuff, and we're just bonding. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, great.
Lot of
I
fun.
play drums as well. I'm not very good, but I play drums as well. Every once in a while, I'll be jumping on the set with a random band at the bar. But yeah, and that's kind of like the theme of LeTip is like not only are we getting business done, but we're having a good time doing it, and we're building great relationships. So that's a great note to end on with that. I have another segment. So unless there's another question, comment, concern on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and if Matt, you have anything more to add, I have one more surprise segment for you.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to add was recently we had a really cool project that came together. It kind of originated in our chapter and then another chapter, the LeTip of Yardley chapter, where my girlfriend and I were featured in a magazine article for the Yardley Living and Newtown Neighbors magazine, which is like a hyper local publication that's put out by Heather DePreto in our area, and she's a member from a LeTip chapter nearby. She had done an interview with us, and then had the photographer from our chapter, Frank Pernesti of Heirloom Studios, do a photo shoot with us in the Yardley Cemetery. And the reason why we did the photo shoot in the Yardley Cemetery is our first date when I met her was at the Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philadelphia, and her business is horror and like spooky themed products and all that. So it was a fun thing, but it was born in LeTip, and it was a interchapter project, and it came to fruition earlier this fall, and it was awesome.
Nice. Awesome. Great stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So are you ready for the surprise segment? Anything else? Surprise segment?
That's it. Let's
All right,
go.
here we go. Surprise segment. So this is the speed round. We're going to get to know you. We learned about you in your professional life. We learned about you in your LeTip life. Now we're going to learn about Matt personally and his personality and his outside of business and LeTip. So this is the speed round, and I'm going to ask you questions, and it's the first thing that comes to mind. It's not anything crazy brain twisting questions. It's very basic question, but we're going to get to know you personally. Are you ready for the speed round?
Bring it on.
All right, here we go. B-Rock, hit it. All right, so we got the ticker going. All right, Matt, favorite food?
Ooh, burgers.
Nice. Favorite dessert?
Ice cream.
Awesome. Favorite restaurant to go to?
Ooh, favorite restaurant to go to? Oh man, Fogo de Chao.
Cool. Sweet. So those are our food questions. We got them out of the way. Favorite TV show?
Ooh, favorite TV show. Probably favorite TV show of all time. Probably Simpsons.
All right, nice. Favorite movie?
Ooh, man, that is a tough one. Favorite movie of all time? The Matrix.
Oh, I like it. Good taste. So we talked about TV show. Do you have anything that you like to watch? Streaming services, Netflix, Hulu, anything you stream that you like?
Lately, my girlfriend and I have been watching some older shows. Like I introduced her to The Sopranos. Now I'm
Mhm.
introducing her to a TV show from the '90s, Becker, that was on CBS with Ted
Nice. Yeah.
Danson. We're diving into a
Mhm.
lot of those older shows that we might have missed out on, and I'll introduce her to one from my childhood. She'll do one in the flip side. So, a
Nice.
couple of those we're checking out. And then we are going to be doing Game of Thrones is something that we started, but then we had to pause it, and we're going back too
Uh-huh.
soon. So, looking forward to that.
No, no comment on Game of Thrones. Maybe I'll tell you off air one day. But good stuff. Good stuff. She's not making you watch Bachelor in Paradise because that's getting forced down my throat right now.
No, no. Her favorite shows are she loves RuPaul's Drag Race. She
Okay.
loves a lot of Jersey Shore, Catfish, Dance
Nice.
Moms, stuff like that, like reality
Cool.
shows and some comedies and dramas.
Nice. So one of my favorite shows is Ted Lasso. Apple is a very sports-minded show, and one of the questions he asks everybody when he's going through the show, he asks people what's their first concert they went to and the best concert they went to. So for you, first concert, best concert.
Okay, first concert I ever went to was I think it was Slayer and Marilyn Manson in 2008 at the what is now the Susquehanna Bank Center, used to be the Tweeter Center in Camden. That was the first concert I ever went to. The best concert I ever went to, that is a very tough one, but I would have to say the Metallica concert that I went to in East Rutherford earlier this year, because it was a 2-day concert. It was a Friday and Sunday concert, and they put on a different show each night with no repeats, and it was amazing. Either that or a close second would be the Judas Priest concert that I saw last year in 2022. That was amazing.
Awesome. Favorite sport? Got a favorite sport?
Favorite sport, I go back and forth between baseball and football. I would say probably baseball, because that was the one that I liked first, and I actually got to play baseball when I was a young kid. But
Mhm.
I love the Eagles, and especially these last couple years with Jalen Hurts, it's been really exciting to watch both of those teams.
And the stream, and the stream.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a Giants. Oh, I
And
forgot.
the,
Yeah.
and the
Oop,
stream, and the
yeah.
stream. No, that's fine. So that was my next question is, favorite team. I guess it's the Eagles, and, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you guys
um,
beat Belichick recently with an undrafted quarterback, so there you go.
well, yeah, they don't even know who their quarterback is. So real big win, big win. So we got favorite sport. All right, so here's one. Favorite thing to do that is totally unrelated to business or LeTip. What is your hobby? What is something you like to do to get away?
I love to play the drums. It's one of
Nice.
the most fun things to do. Just put my headphones on and rock out. I could play for 2, 3 hours at a time with only needing to take breaks for water and to change the songs. It's something I'm really passionate about, something I've been doing since I was a young kid, since I was like 9 or 10 years old. And it's a great passion for me to play, and especially to play with a band, which I got to do for a few years in school, or a cover band that I did afterwards. That was just one of the most fun experiences ever, to be able to perform and all that. So yeah, probably drumming.
Awesome. Great stuff. Favorite book? Do you have a favorite book or series of books? What's your favorite book?
Ooh, there is there's a couple good books. There's one that I'm working on right now, which is High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard, who's like a self coach.
Mhm.
I'm not done that one yet, so I don't want to just go ahead and label that as my favorite book. I did like, there's a lot of different books. Let me go back to that on the book. What was the other one?
Or book series. So I was going to ask you favorite book if there was like a fictional book that you liked. My next question was going to be favorite business book suggestion. So is there a business book or an inspirational book that you like to share with everyone at home? Maybe they should read. Is there something that is a must read book that you can suggest?
Oh yeah, I would say that the business books to read would be the E Myth, which is a great book about small businesses and the different components and how to form one and run one and operate one. The other one would
Hmm.
be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Nice.
Those two are crucial business books and just
Hmm.
life books in general.
Yeah. So I love Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich is a great book. There's one that you might not know he wrote. It's actually, I think he did it before Think and Grow Rich, which is The Law of Success. And the reason why I love that, it's there's a lot of similar principles, but it's also structured out. It's way longer. It's a huge, thick book. It's like the Bible of like the Law of Success. Think and Grow Rich is like, a condensed version of this Law of Success book. So definitely a suggestion while we're talking about Napoleon Hill, definitely check out the Law of Success because it kind of gives you some structure and some systems along with those principles. I'm thinking we're rich. So definitely check that out. Brian, any suggestions for the speed round? No. Michelle, any questions for the speed round? No. My executive producers here are tapped out, so I guess Matt has survived the speed round. You guys are too easy on Matt. Matt survived, but last chance. Questions, comments, concerns in the comments section. This is your very last chance to ask Matt a question. Matt, any other things you'd like to add for tonight?
I would say, well, I wanted to thank you for everything that you do to make this a regular program within LeTip, and everything that you and your team does to make this happen. And, it was a very seamless thing to be a part of this. So I appreciate that greatly for you doing that. And then just, like I said, with, people who are wondering what to do, consistency, effort, like you said, like the principles for success, same things apply to, being a great LeTip member, learning all the stuff, being consistent, putting your effort in, being passionate about it, aligning your interests, not giving up, being persistent, and then also envisioning success and just working towards that and being accountable as well to it and holding yourself accountable. Those are the main things. Man, I wish I had like a big, like kind of just good exclamation point to end the interview with, but I would just say, connect with me online on social media because the journey's not over for me. It's only continuing, and who knows where it's going to lead next. And if the last few years are any glimpse into what the future may hold, then there could be some very huge things coming down the pike in the next couple of years for me. So keep an eye on me and stay tuned.
Awesome. Great stuff. And how do you keep up with Matt? You can go to @Weedman Bucks County. So definitely check him out. And you know what? So they can continue to grow. You can also go to LeTip.lowerbucks and definitely help them and their chapter out. Is much appreciated. Matt, thank you so much for spending time with us. The wealth of knowledge that you share with our members is spectacular and awesome. We appreciate you spending time and passing that on to our members and being part of our Rockstar team. So thank you so much for joining us, Matt.
Yeah. Thank you, Doug.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys at home for watching LeTip Live. And guess what? We'll catch you next time on another episode of LeTip Live.